Welcome to NewsTalk, Episode 1. This is TV Stavros. I went live, and yes, this is one of my usual songs that I play. Not necessarily fills, the space here for the show, but whatever, here we go. So, as always, well, obviously you know who I am. I'm not a frog who has to keep reminding you of who I am. So, yeah, I am, well, TV Stavros, but there I did. Fucking remind you. But I do apologize for my slight distraction. The idiot subcontractors are digging up the streets around here and fucking making a lot of noise. The cacophony's driving my old ass fucking mad. And I don't want to... I need to distract myself so that I don't go out and threaten them to shut the fuck up, because then they'll bring in the SWAT on me. So no, let's not do that. But as always, let's start off the show by showing our gratitude and appreciation for everyone who has shown up today here in the chat. We got Johnny Sinister. We got Derailed News and Podcast. We got Jay Diz. It's the Costanza saying some stupid things about Black Rifle Coffee Company. Steve Callan, the man with two first names. The man himself, BB. Bam. 6956. Will Tactics himself, the man who wields the shiny wrench, Chad, the one and only King of New York, Foulmouth Ken, Extreme Shaft, nice to see you, and the one and only Based Alcatraz. And many people are sharing their opinion of what they think about the mainstream news. And we're going to start off the show actually by playing the actual jury read out their decision. You don't know what they did? So then why are you being a bullfrog, Costanza? Talk about shit you don't know. Why are you trying to be like a Joe Cronin? They basically immediately came out and crucified the kid. Said that he shouldn't have been there, that he was wrong, they wanted nothing to do with him, they didn't want money from his supporters. No, they need to burn in hell. They're fucking liberal fucking shits. Let's listen to the actual verdict.
As the first count of the information, Joseph Rosenbaum. We, the jury, find the defendant, Kyle H. Rittenhouse, not guilty. As to the second count of the information, Richard McGinnis. We, the jury, find the defendant, Kyle H. Rittenhouse, not guilty. As to the third count of the information, unknown male. We, the jury, find the defendant, Kyle H. Rittenhouse, not guilty. As to the fourth count of the information, Anthony Huber, we, the jury, find the defendant, Kyle H. Rittenhouse, not guilty. As to the fifth count of the information, Gage Grosskreutz, we, the jury, find the defendant, Kyle H. Rittenhouse, not guilty.
At this point, he falls almost to his knees.
Members of the jury, are these your unanimous verdicts?
Is
there anyone
he's starting
who does
to
not
actually
agree with
have
the verdicts as read?
he's starting to hyperventilate, and it's obviously heartfelt, because this was these were very serious charges, and they'd been built up through prejudice to something that was totally untrue. In fact, straight out lies. Now, the judge himself actually, once hearing these calls, these verdicts, he said that the case is dismissed with prejudice. Okay, because they were considering, the defense did file the motion to mistrial with prejudice, which should have been what initially occurred, because it came out the other day that the prosecution had access to a high quality, high definition video of what occurred, and they only submitted the low definition quality to the defense. That violation alone in protocol, it's actually breaking the law. That should actually have the guy arrested and them disbarred for having done such a thing. So that alone should have allowed for mistrial with prejudice. But dismissed with prejudice is as follows. Basically, if it's dismissed with prejudice, it means the plaintiff, in this case Kyle Rittenhouse, cannot, or that the plaintiff, that is the state here, cannot refile the same claim again in court. So double jeopardy doesn't exist here. This is it, and it's done. Now, it's possible, because this is criminal, it's possible that perhaps family members of those that were killed, and justifiably so, because they were committing crimes, may try to start some sort of civil act against him, but they would have to actually prove. Oh, hold on, that's weird. I'm getting hawked, man. My screen was just fucking up here. Let me just check the stream, make sure everything's cool. That was weird. It's like a whole Matrix thing, a little fucking. Yep, there it goes again. Hold on. Be cool, man. It's not like I'm the only one, FBI. I'm not the only one here fucking covering this shit. So please. So where was I? Dismissed with prejudice, indicating there's no double jeopardy. And although he might be sued civilly in court, it's clear that he was justified. In fact, that this also sets a precedent that self-defense is appropriate and being judged by members of his peers. And again, being residents of Kenosha, they're not being swayed by this BLM fucking intimidation and bullshit, or Antifa bullshit, trying to coerce them or threaten them into making a certain decision. I mean, even the governor is against Rittenhouse because he's bringing in the National Guard, and that's basically a threat to the jurors to say, well, you can make your own decision, but this is what we have to do to compensate and have to deal with it. So just think very carefully about what you're doing. It's disgusting. The judge was top-notch, and he held some balance in that court, and he held these disgusting individuals, the prosecution, accountable for their clear criminal acts. I just got sent a video by Can, and I guess I'll play the audio. I think this is just leftist, like, probably just screeching and shit, but it looks like probably it's all yeah, it's just when Trump won. But yeah, they're probably doing the exact same thing here. Now, consider this, for example, is that Huber's girlfriend came out and actually, this is one of the guys that was killed. I believe it was a skateboard man, and said that she actually has sympathy for Kyle Rittenhouse, and that that she understands why he did things. So that's just one example of how this case has been blown apart by being pushed as something that it wasn't. Just a reminder, Skype lines are open. I'm very interested in hearing what anybody has to say about this matter, because it was quite controversial for the last year. Now, let's remember who's speaking here. Devious Dave Rose. I watched this stuff live that night. For the past, 5 years, I guess, understanding what direction we were going in, I was very aware. And I was pulling a Batman thing with fucking having multiple streams open at the same time, watching shit play out in real time, either be the truck attack in Toronto, which is questionable, the Charlottetown driving situation where that kid supposedly ran people down, but he didn't. And, some fat, overweight cunt died from a heart attack, wasn't even hit by him. That was questionable, but I watched that. What happened in Boston, for example. I've been pulling a Batman for quite a many number of years and keeping track of all this sort of thing. I've saved quite a lot of this. So I was watching live, and immediately and there were so many streamers. So I saw this fucking go down in front of me. I saw the attempt to the takedown, him falling to the ground, shoot, this and that, going to the police and all that. I saw it all live. And from the get-go, I knew this. I knew what many of you know as well, is that he was innocent, he was fully justified, and they were trying to make this look like, because obviously there aren't white supremacists that are a danger to the country, as the Biden administration are saying. Are there white supremacists? Of course, but there's black supremacists, Asian supremacists, Jewish supremacists, Muslim supremacists. Okay, but instead of addressing the fact that there's still terrorist cells in America that are controlled basically by Islamic forces, but there's also Chinese cells in America, which are constantly sabotaging industrial equipment, seeding dissent, funding communist groups. So these are obviously much bigger threats to America than what Biden is trying to say. Remember, Biden is the one that got the FBI to legally use anti-terrorism techniques against parents that were complaining in schools about critical race theory. So it's clear that there is a bias from that branch of government, and you have all. We know that he literally called Kyle Rittenhouse a white supremacist, and many people are saying the exact same thing. He needs to sue the shit out of everybody that ever called him a white supremacist. And Nick Sandman, another kid who was labeled a white supremacist, who just was waiting for his bus, had this political agitator, well known for his previous criminal actions, a native, come up to his face and bang a drum in his face, and while he's just standing there thinking, this native guy just wants to share his culture with me and bang his drum, and I'm just here, I'll just smile. What am I to do? Provide a scornish view? I'm just going to stand here and smile. And then CNN labeled him racist and all that. And then he sued the fuck out of them. And they settled out of court for what is estimated to be at least $250 million. So he actually recently wrote a letter to Kyle Rittenhouse himself. And he said, first, I'm with you. I stand by you and I will support you. And if you need any help at all, you contact me. So from that, what we should see is the same sort of actions against CNN, MSNBC, the Washington Post, and all these clear arms of the Democrat Party and the Chinese Communist Party too, which I guess it's all one and the same now. But he needs to sue the fuck out of them and send a message. But it's good in this sense because this now sends a message to all those that threaten that if he got acquitted, they're going to burn Kenosha down. Well, the law now says you are justified in shooting and killing pedophiles, domestic abusers, and rioters. So perhaps this will send a message to those that were just threatening to cause violence there in Kenosha that they may not get the full support of the law. Or the law might just stand back and let the citizens shoot the shit out of them. So this should be a wake-up call to BLM, to Antifa, to all these little communist groups in America, and to the Democrat Party that the people of Kenosha themselves have decided enough is enough. And it's very clear that this shouldn't have even gone to court, to be quite honest. Let me catch up back with the chat here. I saw one comment from Austin Talk Show, says justice was served. I don't think justice was served, because if justice was served, he would have never had to be there in the first place. Justice should have had the police not stand down. Justice should not have the police stand down, and should have had the authorities actually stop this and prevent it from ever occurring. All right, so the Chief Slinger himself is here. He is on the road again. So we've got to be appreciative of his time available here. So you have the floor, Cheese Man.
How's it going, Dave? Is my background audio that bad?
Not that bad, but it's
okay.
Noticeable.
Well, just let me know.
All right.
If it gets that bad. So first of all, what a great day, man. I mean, the first thing I want to say.
Great way to start the weekend.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be a great weekend, I think, after this. But
we're drinking for Kyle tonight.
Hell yeah. No, so it's just beyond me. I am convinced that anyone who thinks that he was guilty has not watched the video. has not done any research, and is just going off of whatever narrative that, whether it be mainstream media, your own politicians, what have you. It's beyond me that you can watch that video and not see a guy defending himself. There is no point in that video, in the string of videos, that he posed any threat whatsoever to anyone until he went into defense mode.
It was total prejudice from the beginning, not only from prosecution, but from politicians and even citizenry. It's like a lot of them, and it's hilarious. I love seeing this on Twitter because these people are so stupid. But until they actually saw the footage of the shooting or of the trial, they actually believed that he had shot black people.
They still do. They still do. They're still calling him a white supremacist, a racist. They're even saying the judge is racist. Racist on what? What, because a white guy shot white guys?
Actually, I got a graphic for that. Hold on, there we go. This is the graphic I sent you, which is the Washington shit rag or Post, showing their total hypocrisy when the fact is that for some fucking reason, Biden started to refer to black people as Negroes in a speech, and he said it like 3-4 times, I think 5. But, you know, when the judge was talking about ordering Chinese food, you know, apparently he said something that wasn't fine by the leftists.
Do you know what that was? I heard about that, but I
can't remember the exact
just sounded so dumb from the get-go, I didn't even look into it.
Hold on, I'll see if I can find it. Give us what else you think.
Well, another thing that you mentioned, talking about the mistrial with prejudice, I'm actually glad it didn't go that route. I wanted a legit, not guilty verdict from 12 people. Because, I mean, you get the mistrial with prejudice, then people are going to be pissed. They're going to be like, well, he's still guilty. And then when it comes to the civil trials, it's going to be a lot harder for Rittenhouse to defend himself because there's no actual not guilty verdict. Now, I know that didn't help OJ, but this is far different from OJ. OJ wasn't defending himself. He was just slashing necks. But with Rittenhouse, now that he's got a not guilty verdict, when these families try and come back and civilly get money from him, it's going to be pretty damn difficult when you've got a criminal not guilty and you've got all these videos that show that you're innocent as fuck, that you're defending yourself. So, not to mention the shit ton of money he's going to make from mainstream media for fucking with him, for spreading lies. I think MSNBC owes these jurors some money too.
I have the quote. He said in the courtroom, the judge, "I hope the Asian food isn't on one of those boats from Long Beach Harbor." So this actually was a little jab at the congestion and supply chain problems that Biden has allowed to occur, because this sure as fuck didn't happen under Trump. So what he was saying is that, well, this makes perfect sense. You know, any food, if it's coming from something that's been stored up for a long time, is probably going to be bad. So he could have said the same thing about fucking, I don't know, Mexican beans or fucking, I don't know, I'm trying to think of things that they make in
anything that could be
lemons from fucking Lebanon. I don't know, but it could have been anything. It could have been apples.
We've had
maple syrup from Canada. I mean, so this is the inappropriate thing. But remember, Joe Biden didn't want his kids growing up in a racial jungle. Remember that?
I'm just beside myself, and I try so hard to not pick side and actually see things how they are. But every time someone screams bullshit, like with the judge and the Asian food coming off the port, and people just start screaming, oh, he's being racist, this and that. And it turns out, you got all their Twitter profiles, and it's got liberal this, he, him, they.
Yeah, exactly. Pronouns.
Shit. And you're just like, yeah. It's hard. It really is. But,
so when do you go out and get your AR-15?
I just wanted to maybe sooner rather than later at this point. especially if you live in Kenosha. And see, there's another thing is, people were saying, well, he shouldn't be there with the gun. Well, shouldn't isn't a thing, determined by the law. I mean, there are some shouldn'ts, but this particular one, just because you don't think he should have been there, doesn't mean he doesn't have a legal right to be there with a gun. And say one of the residents there, I mean, we saw houses in those videos. What if one of those residents wanted to walk out of their house and go up the street to the gas station and get a Mountain Dew or whatever? I would be armed if I was one of those residents with all that shit going on.
Okay, let's forget about riots. How about the fact that it's your Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms? So say you live in Alaska and, there's a lot of grizzlies around there and you want to take a stroll out to the fucking corner store. It's only like a 5-minute walk, but, you might encounter a fucking bear. So your AR-15 has at least the ability to fend that off. And, residents walk around with rifles slung over their shoulders, just like in fucking other places in either, Canada or America. And there's no problem.
Sorry, it takes a minute to unmute on this. No, I agree. And there doesn't have to be a riot there, but I was just for emphasis on that particular scenario. I mean, anytime, just right now, they can walk outside of their house, walk to the gas station with a gun. But especially when there's riots going on, no one in their right mind is going to walk outside their house without being armed in a scenario like that, especially in that scenario. And he's there to protect this gas station that they knew a crowd was going to be there to blow up. And no one else is trying to protect this place. So,
and those two guys threw him under the bus. Those two guys threw him under the bus. The guys that owned the gas station and were running it. They were like, "Oh, we didn't ask him or anything like that." No, he offered the help. You accepted. You knew what those residents there that were riding were going to do. You knew that, but now you throw him under the bus like we didn't ask for help at all. Blah blah blah. I doubt that you would have preferred to have your gas station fucking burn up. Doubt it.
Well, it's going to blow up next time because no one's going to be.
Not with this fucking verdict.
Yeah. I could go on forever about this, but yeah, man, it's a good day. It's a good day for this country, and people are thinking that this is what was it? The New York City mayor said something like this is.
He came straight out and fucking
miscarriage of justice.
Yeah, it's political interference here. To declare it a miscarriage in justice when he wasn't part of the jury. The jury decided it. He's not
right.
He's a fucking elitist who makes, millions of dollars. He's not fucking his peers.
Well, in his statement, I believe he said, he made the quote of going over state lines with a gun. That right there proves he's uneducated on the topic. And I think
it's
a
straight out lie. The court already declared that was a fucking lie. What he's doing is he's pushing. He's a pussy, but he's pushing disinformation on purpose.
Exactly.
He's aware of what he's doing, and that's criminal.
But especially with the not guilty verdict. But I mean, that whole thing was thrown out weeks ago anyways. But I first of all, I think there's another lawsuit. You just slandered another person who slandered him. So let's file another lawsuit on him. Maybe we can get him out of office, because Trump was accused of lies, and they tried to get him out of office multiple times. So this should be a piece of cake. It's clear and evident lie, right? Let's get him out of office. Liar. Gone.
It's absolutely repulsive.
And, the fact that people, and I said this earlier, but this is just another example of someone who's uneducated on the topic trying to talk to the topic. It would be like if you watch the Super Bowl and last year the Buccaneers won. And then you go out the next day and say, well, the Chiefs won a great Super Bowl last night. No, they didn't. It's that night and day. It's that obvious. And I guess it's a horrible analogy because no one's going to Castigate should be on laughing at you and calling you a fool. But I don't know. But that's just how easy this is to spot out. How easy it is to see what the facts are of the case. It took me, 5 minutes of watching these videos. And then, it was a total of an hour, but literally once I found what I needed to find and started watching it, it took 5 minutes to make it.
Yeah, but you initially, your opinion was quite different on the situation, wasn't it?
Was it?
No, I mean, like when it initially started, you were more on along the lines of you were believing what the MSM was saying.
Possibly. I'd have to go back. You'd have to pull the clip on that, I guess. And I'm not saying you're wrong. I just honestly don't remember.
No, I remember recently, though, as more things started coming out, you're like, my mind's blown. I'm like, I sent you Matrix fucking gifts, like, welcome to the real world.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you clearly were,
I wasn't sure. So when you and I first started talking about it, 3-4 weeks ago, whenever that was, I really hadn't covered it at all. And for reasons I'm not going to say on air, but I hadn't really followed the story. And it has nothing to do with the story itself, personal stuff. But I hadn't really followed it a whole lot. So I just knew kind of the little tidbits that have been thrown out there. And I'm like, wow, this guy really did that? I wasn't sure. And I felt like maybe there was some foul play on his part. But once you go and look at the stuff, then, it's clear and obvious. And that's why I didn't speak on the topic a whole lot until I educated myself on it.
Well, that's a good thing, because then you don't look like an idiot.
I don't think you'll find a clip of me saying that he needs to burn or he
No.
needs to go to
But
jail.
you said things like he shouldn't have been there and stuff like that, or he had the gun illegally and all that. But eventually, as the information came out, you sort of came around.
Right. I mean, the information's got to be there first. I can't dream it up. But no, I mean, the information was out there long before. And like I said, I just chose not to educate myself on that for various reasons. But
well, it's better better than certain Bostonians who will just jump at the cuff to address an issue that is supposedly a social injustice, and then eventually finds out they look like a retard for talking about something they had no clue about. Seems to be quite common for those in Boston. Except for Clam Baked, he's a cool dude.
I just say, and it's grown more and more with me over the years, especially with doing YouTube. It's like, I'm not going to record myself and put it on air if I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. And I can't say that I've never been ignorant on anything. Don't get me wrong, no mistake in that. But if I'm going to, with intent, do a video or, speak to something as the part of a main topic, I'm not just going to walk into it and be like, oh, he shot a black person. Yep, he's racist. I mean, why? Why would you do that? And obviously, a lot of people do that.
For pandering
I'm
points.
convinced.
Pandering points.
Yeah. And, I mean, I'll call it how I see it. And I've been called racist before for having an opinion. And then I was proven correct.
Yeah, I remember those conversations in your chat. Well, not just in your chat, but those comments left on your videos and stuff. And it's just, it's so fucking sad. And, well, now you know what I have to deal with, having to break things down, explain things in the most simplistic methods and still see that they're, they're just ignorant. They still don't get it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm not saying
You're going through the Matrix.
any one race is right. What do you mean? I'm just saying, hey, if a video comes out and a black dude's being wronged, I'll call that out too.
No, I was saying that because your voice was coming in all choppy.
Oh, it was probably the cop car I passed. He must be running radar.
Could be, actually.
Makes me wonder.
But you said you might go live today?
I for sure am. If anything else, just have kind of a round table, kind of like you're doing with it, and let people call in. But I mean, we've talked about it enough at this point that it needs to be.
No. You've got to pull a Dave Rose here, and you've got to get Frank and others on there, and you got to just say, "I told you so. I told you so," and just rub that salt in the wound. I'm sure middle of the road conservative Frank is pulling out what little hair he has left because he wanted to see him convicted. I'm joking. I'm joking.
I was going to say, I think you guys were all in agreement on this one for the most part.
No,
he had the one thing with the weapon violation. I think he was more on board with that.
Okay, but you know what? This is what sort of justifies my arrogance in this, is why is it that a Canadian knows more about American law? I also know about my law, but why is it I know about another fucking political system and a legal system? I mean, shit. Like, you got to give me some credit there, Frank.
Well, the fact that you know so much, and I've noticed that with Canadians, like a lot of Canadians seem more invested in our political system than their own.
Yeah, because the old saying in Canada goes is that if, well, it's been adjusted, but if you sneeze, America, then Canada gets a cold. So it's just like, yeah, you can just swat away a fly, but like for us, it'll fucking take out a chunk of our meat, So, yeah, we're very susceptible to anything that happens in America. Politics, economics, supply chains. We're unfortunately extremely dependent, and now we're also dependent on China. So, good times ahead in Canada.
It seems quite opposite, though, the other way around, where the only thing I know about Trudeau is he's, I don't know what the political structure is there, but he's what we would call liberal. He's a nutbag liberal, but and also that he wore blackface. That's about all I know about Trudeau, and he's young.
Perhaps I would say that he is like a male version of AOC.
Ooh.
So it's not just liberal, okay? Not even classical liberal. That term is dead, okay? There's no more classical liberals. The leftists killed it. It's not even fucking center of the road. He's fucking, and he's not even fucking neocon or neo-lib, like fucking Biden, leftist, in quotations, Democrat, which are really corporatists. No, he's like super far fucking left, like, we've got to cripple our economy just to fucking save a few flowers.
That doesn't sound too far different from a lot of people down here. Like you said, AOC. There is a difference between the two of them, though. I wouldn't stick my dick in his mouth. So there is that.
I wouldn't do it to either, to be quite honest. And both of them were elected by really stupid young people that saw somebody that looked nice. They've got nice hair. They got nice. I don't know why. The only reason why they vote AOC is because they're tits. Other than that, her face looks like a horse. And, so that's the only reason why these people got elected, for appearances purpose only. People knew about their history prior, and they still voted for them. Trudeau did blackface at least 3 times, and Trudeau did blackface at least 3 times, and he got elected this past year.
Yeah, wasn't it a special election too?
Yeah, he called it. He didn't go through
Okay.
He didn't go through, like, because you get 4 years. So at the end of 4 years, an election is called. And there are no term limits here, unfortunately. So the same prime minister could serve for 20 years if they wanted.
So he was at the end of his 4 years? So
no, he wasn't. He wasn't even at the end of his 4 years. He just decided, hey, this is a good opportunity because I've been, like, blowing all this money and paying people off with all these social programs and stuff to keep them at home from working and create all these problems, that I'll get, votes for it. And plus, when you let in the third world, you become the third world. So a lot of immigrants that were paid off by him and all that, because, they get us, a lot of money compared to regular Canadians. That's what got him the vote. Plus, there was a lot of sticky, strange situations going on. The national, our version, I guess, of PBS, or NPR, it announced the results before the results were officially announced by the electors, or Elections Canada, which is the organization that runs it. So that automatically shows that there was some collusion there as well. And there was evidence that there was interference from the Clinton Foundation and other foreign groups in China. So, yeah, it's discussing how Canada's system has become. And, yeah.
So by calling that special election, does that restart his 4 years?
Yep.
So that's, because I was going to ask, why would you call an election on yourself? But he did it strategically because he knew he would win.
Yep.
And would restart his 4 years. Gotcha. It's the same strategy of kicking Biden out of office at, January 2023. That way Kamala could theoretically get 10 years instead
Apparently,
of 8.
he's in the hospital. Biden's in the hospital right now, undergoing, I believe,
What?
a colonoscopy. But apparently, from what I read, and I can't confirm this, that as such, Kamala is now the acting president of the United States. So if he
Well,
dies in
I think
surgery, then, hey, Joe, we did it. I got you killed.
I didn't know he was going in for one of those.
That's what I
I'm
read this
surprised
morning.
They didn't come across. They must be keeping that on the DL or something, because you think that'd be like top news everywhere. Or I missed it. But,
Well,
um,
they've been purposely trying to stoke up all this Rittenhouse stuff because they're trying to again distract from what happened in Afghanistan, which is still going on. People, what's going on with China? Biden had to ask China to open up oil supplies for America. You've got all this backlog of all these cargo ships and such, which is done on purpose to try to bring in the Great Reset and break the economy. It's part of Piven Cloven. Or Cloven Piven strategy, written by Saul Alinsky. So yeah, it's all, this is all by design.
well, I'm surprised if this is the case, I'm surprised they're doing it now, because if Kamala gets into office now, she can only serve about 7 years.
It's possible. Who knows? I was going to say that
that's why my theory's been there.
I was going to say that you will also have more news to cover today because the Aubrey case is going right now. The jogger case.
Oh,
Yeah, that's currently happening at the same time right now.
wow. Okay.
So I saw that live
Let's look
earlier,
into
but
that, too.
Rittenhouse stuff was coming out, so I had to watch the Rittenhouse stuff. But this is now in court. There's, live proceedings and so forth. And that's another case where I recognize it, from the get-go as them being innocent. They did not murder this guy or intend to murder him. He was a thief that was known as the jogger by the community because he would always claim that he was jogging, but then because the whole neighborhood was basically still being built, he was going through all these pre-built homes, taking tools that the guys that would leave there, the guys that work there leave there, just stealing all different sorts of things. And the police asked these three individuals, they asked everyone actually, but these three individuals they also interacted with and said, okay, if you see him again, confront him, bring your firearms, and hold him for us. The cops are the ones that asked for that help. So instead of being a smart individual, he was a jogger, ran to the guys that had a fucking shotgun, 12-gauge shotgun, grabbed the barrel, which is the dumbest thing you can do, especially if you don't know how to disarm somebody, and then struggled where it eventually pointed to his chest, and boom, a criminal gone, and nothing of value was lost. But they're going to try to make it look like, oh, it's because it's Georgia, it's just a bunch of good old boys, they were just patrolling the neighborhood to go kill black people, which is what's the narrative been since the very beginning. Those of logic, those who've looked into this, just spent 5 minutes, like Drew said, you'll see very, very clearly that was not the case. Okay, this whole idea, this mystique that the KKK culture still exists as rampant as it did in the 50s or even, say, the 20s is fucking liberal delusion. And plus, most of the people in the KKK, they're fucking feds. They're purposely put in there to infiltrate and try to, blackmail people or try to coerce people to do crimes. And then the FBI sweeps in and says, look at us, we stopped them before they made a crime. It's so documented. There's been times where, they try to arrest each other. There's been times where, like, they infiltrated a club, and then you've got FBI, you've got, I think it's not FDA, marshals, you got all these different police groups, and they all start to fucking arrest each other, and they start shooting each other and shit, and it comes out in the newspaper, they infiltrated each other, thinking that they were criminal gangs, and they ended up trying to arrest each other, and there was a shootout and shit.
Well, my uncle used to be a detective, and he'd go in there and do stuff like that too. He wasn't FBI or anything like that, but he certainly went undercover from time to time. And I remember stories he would tell me about, joining a biker gang. And this guy straight edge, like, well, not straight edge. He didn't smoke or do drugs. He did drink on occasion, but um, you know, the cleanest family member in my family by far, and he would have to, you know, snort coke, do heroin and shit, to be a part of this biker gang, and you know, follow their inner workings in an effort to take him down. And I think he spent 6 months doing that, and he'd have to drive 2 or 3 hours to get to where the gang resided or whatever. And he'd go home like on at oddball times. Like maybe he'd go home and spend Saturday at home with his family, and then go right back out because he didn't want to be gone too long, or you know he'd be outed. But yeah, I'm very familiar with that stuff. We're not very familiar, but as familiar as the stories he's told me, that is. When did this Aubrey case happen? Because the way you described it, it's not ringing a bell.
When did the instance occur? When's the procedures happening?
The instance, when did the shooting happen?
Let me just get this here. Okay, so the
Just roughly,
Ahmed Arbery happened on February 23rd, 2020. On February 20, I'm reading this from Wikipedia, but
oh, this is pretty cool.
on February 23rd, 2020, Ahmed Marquez Arbery, an unarmed. Oh, glad you put that in there, buddy. In fact, but he wasn't. He wasn't unarmed. He was armed, actually. 25-year-old black man was fatally shot after jogging in a neighborhood near Brunswick in Glynn County, Georgia. It's so fucking pathetic, and it was so evident from the very beginning. And you know that when they word it this way, that they're just trying to push this fucking false narrative. What do? They show a photo of an undated photo of this guy. Why don't you show the mugshots? Why don't you show the mugshots? Why don't you, again, ask yourself, who goes fucking jogging in work shoes or work boots? Nobody does. Why is it that they're not talking about how this neighborhood had, you know, had massive fucking thefts going on, and this was the culprit? This guy was the guy that was causing this stuff, and as such got that nickname, the Jogger, because he would, when confronted, he would say, "Oh, I'm just jogging. I'm just jogging."
It's interesting. They used all of Rittenhouse's mugshots and posted them all over their pages, but not with him, huh?
And speaking of mugshots, right now on my screen, I'm showing the unnamed fourth man, the high kicker.
Not so unnamed anymore.
And they found him, and he's a career criminal. And let me just make this bigger here. But this is the guy that you see on the video who runs in and tries to kick. Well, he's already down. Rittenhouse is already down, and then he kicks him, and is obviously trying to get the the rifle away from him. So
by the grace of God, those two bullets didn't hit him. Because
yeah, exactly. His shots were fired at this guy, and he ran off
blank,
like the coward that he is.
Point blank range too. I mean, but he was on the move, and Rittenhouse was down. So, you know, I'm not.
No, but then again,
Rittenhouse's ability.
Rittenhouse was, you know, he was hit in the head with a skateboarding, turn around, and he just one shot, boom, straight.
You know, if he was so, and the unnamed male was the only black person in the, you know, direct involvement of all this. So if he was so racist, why did he make sure he hit the black?
He's not unnamed anymore. His name is Maurice J. Freeland.
There you go. But yeah, if he was so racist, why did he get up and start chasing that guy down? Oh, the black guy. It's the black guy.
We're losing you into the void.
Him, you know? No, he was.
Drew, you're going through the cheese triangle right now. We can't hear you.
Hello?
Oh God, what's going on? Are you in space now?
Hello?
Hello? Is there anybody in there?
Not really. All right, well, hear me? I'll just let you go if you can hear me.
I can hear you better now.
Thank you for taking my call, Dave.
No worries.
All right.
All right.
I'm going to hop off anyway. Thank you for taking the call, and I'll be listening.
All right, cool. and Drew will be going live later today to discuss his thoughts on this. We'll see about his band of motley crew, what they say about what happened, and you can send your apologies directly to me there, J-Man and Frank. I'm a forgiving individual, so you can proudly speak and say that yes, Dave Rose was correct yet again. Reminder: Skype lines remain open for anyone who wishes to discuss this topic, because there are many things that should be discussed when it comes to this, and I'd love to hear your opinions as well on the matter. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, I'll put this one back up. So the issue now is to see what happens. What happens in Kenosha, because, well, it's the weekend. People are available. The weather is getting cooler, and this is a good way to sort of thwart these sort of BLM Antifa types. Is that when these sorts of decisions are made on cold days, there's a less chance that you're going to get riots, because people don't want to go out because of the weather. But regardless, they were told that they were going to be escorted out, the jury, and there are people who are still claiming that there's going to be violence, so we're going to have to wait and see what happens there. But all eyes are on Kenosha, so if the cops allow this to happen again, there's going to be big problems. And yes, it might be the authorities that are calling for a stand down, but the cops know their duty. They know what they're going to have to face if this happens again. So it only makes sense that they're going to have to take action and be ready. And now with this ruling, you have justification for the exact treatment of others in the same method that Kyle Rittenhouse used. So things hopefully will be understood by those on the side of evil that it's over now. They better stop fucking pulling this shit, especially with the threats, and pull back, because now the law is enshrined and reminded to them that this sort of thing is justified. Let me catch up with the chat here. Chili Cheese J says, the headline on MSN.com is Kyle Rittenhouse was designed to protect white conservatives who kill. I hope he sues the shit out of them. And yeah, he says, Jesus, these people really want to cause a civil war. Yes, absolutely. But they're going to be protected in little ivory towers and such. But, they definitely want to stoke that sort of division with other people. And it's so evident. And it's been evident for such a long time. I don't understand. I honestly don't understand. Because I remember noticing this shit when I was like 12, 13. It's like, but hold on. You said this in the newscast, but it doesn't match with what I read in this article or this police report, or now there's two channels providing different information, and to me it became very evident that the media had always wanted to redirect conversation and always use some sort of narrative, and yeah, it was just so evident. So let me just catch up here. What else? Wonder if Shannon or Ken want to come on. They were on earlier than me. Shannon did try a couple of... she tried once to get the stream working, and then they did it again. And it started working a little bit better, but couldn't hear them too well, unfortunately. But if either of them wants to call in, I'd love to hear their opinions on that. Let's see here. There's more comments between each other, people in the chat here. Chat says, but there was no weapon violation. The judge even said he didn't understand why he was indicted on the gun charge. Yes, there's so many things in this case, so many things that occurred during this trial that was just so ludicrous that it's just so evident that the case should never have been brought up in court. It should have been easily understood from the very beginning, especially once, preliminary hearings and such, examining evidence. That should have been very clear, especially if the prosecution had provided the appropriate video and not one that was purposely lower quality to try to confuse or make it more difficult to defend him. Costanza says, imagine Rittenhouse calling this stream on Skype. His call is always welcome. I'm sure Joe is siding with the leftists on this case. Rittenhouse is probably enjoying some good downtime right now because of the stress that he's had to deal with for over a year and the threats that he's going to have to continue to deal with, and now the actions that he knows he's going to have to take in suing the fuck out of all these media companies as well as politicians and stuff. Those are the ones that especially he should go after. Biden deserves to pay out the fucking teeth. And we already know that fucking he gets good money from China. So does Hunter. So, this guy needs to pay out his teeth for this guy. But he's going to be keeping a low profile for the next while, because obviously this is going to have to die down, and you got these crazies who are still threatening violence. So it is a Friday evening. Would have been better if this came out on a Monday, because then you got the whole week for people to sort of diffuse, as well as because it's a weekday. This is when the stories actually hold. Stories that sort of go over weekends are hopefully, scrubbed under the, or swept under the carpet. So, but they still utilize it for a weekend of chaos. And then the next week there's a new distraction. And that may be the Aubrey case that's currently going on. But no, I think this is an attempt to at least try to start some violence. And, the National Guard is there, apparently. And we've had these threats that there's going to be violence. So I guess we're going to have to see tonight whether or not these leftists actually hold to their word and decide to riot like they said they would. Let's see what else here. So anybody else want to call in? I was hoping to get more interaction here today. Hoping to hear perhaps from more people on their opinion on this, because a lot of people ask me to go live and to discuss what's been going on. And, they know that I've been following this, since it started. And, I've had many disagreements with people, and, Dave Rose gets proven correct again. But, I would just love to hear what other people think about this, perhaps, what they think will come from this, or if there's anything that's going to happen tonight in regards to potential rioting. So, I'd love to hear some opinions. I didn't necessarily plan to go, forever today. We've been going on for close to an hour. I don't think that's bad for covering, breaking news and such. But, I wanted to at least get a few things out. Discuss, how this is relevant. And, hopefully just interact. So, we got Drew. And, you know what? I think I'll give it another 5 minutes, maybe. It's going to be a video by Drew later today. I'm guessing probably in 3-4 hours. Who knows? Actually, maybe he's going on at 9. I don't know. I've got Friday Night Fire, as you know, 9:30 Eastern time. It's a little later than usual today. Ken has a few things to take care of prior. But, you can expect me there. I'm sure that we'll talk about it, probably in passing on that show. But, it is what it is. And more importantly is now we just got to look out for the repercussions. What kind of riots are we going to see, if any? What kind of new story is going to be put together? What kind of fucking false narrative is going to be sown by the media about how this is now encouraging people to kill pedophiles, which, I mean, I would love that headline to come out, because then people would really see how stupid these people are. It's like, but that's a good thing. So why are you trying to make it look bad? The media needs to be destroyed. They are truly the enemy of the people. And yeah, I'm glad that this is helping wake people up and make them realize that they got to think for themselves. They got to stop giving this appeal to authority when it comes to the media. Of all people, the media. All right, we've got Latino Heat.
So, yeah, I don't know if you mentioned that they did have two other people that were involved in the situation. There was a black guy. The reason why the prosecution did not want him brought up to be cross-examined was because of the fact that the guy kicked Rittenhouse in the face, and Rittenhouse didn't shoot or kill him. So that would have defeated the whole, there was a black, racist thing going in there. There was also a white guy that was burning down some building. He was trying to start a fire. Rittenhouse engaged him and told him to stop, tried to get him to stop doing it. And the guy had a gun on him and actually took a shot at Rittenhouse with his gun. And they had it on video. And this was the same video that the prosecution had stated in court. Wow, our version of the film is so much clearer than the defense's. And the shit was, any evidence that is provided to the prosecution is supposed to be the same exact evidence given to the defense. Yet the defense's was like 8 megabytes or something like that. Or no, I think the girl said it was 6 megabytes. Yet the prosecution's USB drive of the video was almost 12.
Yeah.
So the quality on theirs was way better. And
it was at least a quarter smaller. It was a quarter of the size of the original file, approximately.
Theirs was sharper, but the freaking moron prosecutor actually admitted it in court. That what the hell? Why is ours sharper? So right there, they were trying to distort the evidence, and they pretty much implicated themselves in doing so. And it showed in the clear video that the guy turned around, pointed his gun at Rittenhouse, and you saw the smoke coming out of the pistol, or the gun that he was shooting. You could see that he shot at Rittenhouse, and then was chasing him around the fucking car. So that was another thing in which it showed that if Rittenhouse had shot, it would have been self-defense yet again. So, I mean, these prosecutors, if they're still in the, if they're still lawyers by the end of this year, I'd be surprised.
Well, I would hope they'd be disbarred, because it was disgusting. That sort of conduct.
Well, not because of how they did it. They're not going to fire them because of that. They're going to fire them because they didn't get the job done.
Yeah, the law firm might do that, punitive because of the potential, misfire on them and all that. But no, legally they need to be disbarred. What they did was criminal.
Yeah. Yeah, and the Democrats are fucking furious. Every news channel that's to the far left is going insane. It's race, race, race. There's this black guy that's outside the courtroom that he was yelling that, oh, that's okay. We still have the court case in Georgia to prove racism, that we still have that going for us. And I would have wished like some white dude or some black guy for that matter would have jumped up next to him and been like, oh, where are you getting racism here when it was white on white? But of course, nobody ever fucking says anything about that. Conveniently, it never gets thrown out there that white on white crime is not racist. Black on black crime isn't racist, but black on black crime, Black Lives Matter don't even acknowledge it.
Now, I can't confirm this. This is breaking news. No stupid sound effect here. But 3:14 p.m., about now, it's reported that Gage Crosskreutz, the guy who fucking got his arm blown off. Found unresponsive in his apartment, taken to ICU. Wrapping up some loose ends, I see.
Yeah, the Clintons got to him, I guess.
Well, the FBI is their, operating wet works group. So yeah, I can see that happening.
That's what happens when you tell the truth in court.
Could very much be. You know, they're actually sending a message to other people, is that you better pay more attention when we hire you to portray a certain narrative.
It's just amazing. I'm surprised it took this many days for them to come out with the not guilty.
Yep.
I was thinking, oh, I got to get them on something because this is taking way too fucking long.
A lot of people thought exactly the same.
But I guess, you know, there was one holdout that was scared, and they probably convinced them, listen, scared or not, we got to not find this kid guilty on anything. We just have to do it. And that's probably what was going down, that there were just people that were scared for their safety, you know. And that's not right. That's not fucking right. And the motherfuckers that were taking pictures, because they know who it was that was taking pictures of the jury, that guy needs to be thrown in jail.
Yeah,
because that's bullshit.
There was several that did that, and they need to pay.
I mean, that's ridiculous. Taking pictures so you can go ahead and dox them, you motherfuckers. I don't know how, did they say, because I don't know how the jury left. If they left like in an armored vehicle, or they just went on their own way wherever. They didn't say anything, did they? Because I would have asked the judge, hey, could you sneak me the fuck out?
They said they were going to be escorted out, but obviously they weren't going to say how they were going to be taken out of the place.
Yeah, because I wouldn't want to be seen. I wouldn't want them to know who the fuck I was, but I wouldn't be afraid to make the decision they made, because that was the right decision. That was the only decision. That kid didn't do anything wrong, you know. And I noticed that one charge that I said that the only thing they could actually get him for was because he wasn't really of age to have that weapon.
He was, though.
17? I thought it was supposed to be 18.
16 was 60. It's like if you were 16 or younger, then that would have been a problem, because it was possession of a firearm. There was no taking it over the fucking.
Right. It was just the possession of it. That's right.
But that's the thing, though. That only applied to people 16 and under, and it was actually a hunting statute. Had nothing to do with Second Amendment. Carrying arms, bearing arms. Self-defense had nothing to do with that whatsoever. They tried to use that excuse, but obviously the judge threw it out because it was not valid.
Well, you know what, though? Sets a precedent, and that's the beautiful thing, because now you motherfuckers want to riot, people can defend their businesses however they choose to. If they want to hire fucking outside help, fuck you, you're not suing, you're not getting over. Don't loot, because you might get shot. So I'm glad that this shit's setting a precedent. Because, yeah, this kind of bullshit needs to stop, that the fucking governors won't let the cops or the fucking National Guard do their job to prevent stuff like that, for cities to be burnt down. They said Kenosha, for the most part, since this shit happened, the burning down of all the buildings and stuff, is still not fixed. They said you go there, it still looks the same way it was when the fires finally went out. That all the places are fucked. You know, that's disgusting. Look at it. What the hell is this diagram? I can't believe. What the fuck?
What's that?
The thing you have on the screen, because there's the delay.
Oh, yes.
I can't believe you didn't cry during the Titanic.
Yes, I am somewhat of a meme master myself, but
man.
this will reverberate through the legal system, and the liberal tears that are about to come shall be a great deluge. And we can feast upon those tears, because they will give us immortality. These children are just so fucking stupid, and I look forward to any bullshit they try to pull, because just like Kyle taught, St. Kyle, fuck around, find out.
Though, the only court case they really have is that Georgia court case, as far as the whole. If they win that, to go after the
What, they'll
the
finally
right
be able to
government.
prove that white Americans are racist. That's why people flock
They don't
to
care about
America, from the third
They
world,
don't
because there's so
care
much
about
racism here.
They want to go after guns. That's what it's ultimately going to come down to. See what happens when normal citizens have weapons? No, we got to get rid of that amendment. We have to get rid of it because murders happen. Unnecessary murders happen. So we have to take that and get rid of it. No citizen should have the right to bear arms. And we'll be a safer country because of it. That's what the fuck they want. So you better believe this Georgia case is going to be even more scrutinized than this one because that's all they have right now to hang their head on. That if they don't win this shit, they're fucked again. And like you were saying, the videos were showing that the guy was going into fucking homes that weren't even completed, looking around, searching around, looting. He was stealing shit. Videos don't fucking lie. What they're going to use in defense? Well, as you white people say, all the black people look alike. How do you know it was him? They can't use that as a fucking defense. So what they're going to say? They showed that guy was in there doing that shit on multiple occasions. Jogging my ass.
Yeah,
We'll see.
and it's just funny because it was very evident. Like, it just only takes a few minutes to just do research. And people just dive onto what the media says, like, oh my God, another travesty, another murder, and all this and that. Let's ignore what's happening every weekend in Chicago and stuff. But, this stuff, oh my God. And all you got to do is 5 minutes and look in. Oh, career criminal, caught multiple times stealing, asked by, police asked citizens to get involved because, in rural areas, it's kind of hard for them to get out to. And they authorized use of arms. It was the police that basically, and obviously the county that is supporting them, because the county sets out sort of guidelines and the police enforce it. And the police said to these people, proceed. And they did. And now they're being held accountable for something that was basically endorsed by the police there. So if there's a problem, first they got to go to the police, but they really need to go to the county to determine, okay, well, what were the policies at that point, and are those policies what led to this guy getting killed, or was this guy, confirmed career criminal, somebody who continued to plan ill intent to the community, which had already been suffering from his actions, and this group of people confronting him fully justified in the laws and amendments that we've passed.
To borrow, I don't know if this phrase has been coined yet, but I'm going to call the people that rush to judgment, as far as the liberals, that don't do the research and find out shit, I'm going to call them Croninites. Because they're just like fucking Cronin. Oh, some shit happened to a black dude? Yep. Racism. I don't care what the fuck the actual evidence shows. Guilty, because that's what a fucking Croninite does. They don't do research. They don't listen to the truth. They don't listen to the facts. They listen to the media and suck the media's dick.
Well, see, this is the problem, I think, which I've made evident in the past, is it's not just that, in my opinion, is that I believe that Joe Cronin does, his pandering essentially allows for grooming. And not sexual, obviously, but grooming minds.
Not from his wife, that's for sure.
Grooming minds of the mentally malleable. So, because he is now, acting like the white savior, because that is a syndrome, making it look like he is, on their side, sort of thing, and he could be, but it's clearly evident that it's pandering, that it's something that is more based on emotion than actual fact, or at least some sort of common sense and critical thinking to do what Drew said, and what we all know I do, which is not to immediately jump on a subject unless we got enough information where we can be confident that what we're saying isn't false or just based on, whatever is being touted by the media.
Especially when it's been proven time and again that the media is
Exactly. At this point, you
the
have to
political
distrust the
wing.
media immediately. It's just that that's just what it is.
I mean, it's just ridiculous. But speaking of what you said with Cronin about you know, his being kind of like trying to be like godlike or whatever, if it makes sense because he always pulls like this martyr type fucking attitude, like where he always says, I might as well kill myself and all this shit because everybody's against me, everybody hates me, and blah blah. It does make sense. It's like he's somewhat of in that frame where it's like a god complex. Like those are his sheep, his herd or whatever the fuck they call it in the Bible. Is I'm a Catholic, but I don't freaking keep up with that shit. But his flock, excuse me, that's what I'm looking to say. That's his flock, and he's he's their savior, and he's gonna lead them to the promised land, and what have you. But yeah, it could be an act. It could be just his social media persona that and in real life, more than likely knows that it's all bullshit. That doesn't matter to him though, because what's gonna get him his money? What's gonna get him views and shit? He thinks that if he panders to black people and the thing that gets me is how many are actually like that in his fucking community that are psychotic.
There's a
That don't believe
substantial.
the
There's
truth.
actually a substantial number of them. This is why I always
I
called it out.
can't.
He has some very racist viewers.
Yeah, but I mean blacks that are like the Black Lives Matter supposed persona, where
Substantial.
they think that
Substantial.
everything is against them. Because I can't see
Dude,
that.
substantial. Substantial. I've seen it. I've confronted them. They've tried to spar with me. Substantial. And I feel a lot of that comes from Joe pandering to them and, acting in that way. And I'm still convinced it's both, it's emotion and profit driven in the sense that emotional because for some reason he's got white guilt. I don't know why. I suspect it's the whole stepfather thing where, he was constantly ridiculing, rap music and, saying sort of dismissive things towards black people.
I blame it on Vanilla Ice and Snow and shit that he saw those guys and thought, oh, white rappers, that's cool. I want to be one. So my point wanted to be.
To me, there's something psychological there. There truly is a white guilt going on. But then I also believe that jumping onto some of these news stories, or as well as the way that he talks to people sometimes, is the pandering. Is the whole, I see an opportunity to make it look like I'm this great individual concerned with justice and meaningful, and it just doesn't seem sincere to me. And it seems like a cop-out, especially when he would talk in private with me about how things, it's like, well, then why did you say that then? I don't do that shit.
I love his key phrases. That's just weird. That's how he tries to rationalize shit. It's just really weird, isn't it? That just happened? What's fucking weird? Every time fucking it's weird. That's weird. This is weird. No, you're fucking weird.
Extreme Shaft in the chat says, always someone bringing up Joe for no reason. Well, no, see, there is
a reason.
And that's the thing. I'm also bringing up Joe because, look, I've experienced this for years and stuff, and I've stated it straight, is that I honestly do believe that he is causing radicalization amongst the people that do watch him. And it's both, in my opinion, coming from some strange white guilt, but also this desire to pander and stuff. And by jumping onto these news stories and immediately thinking that the police are racist because some black guy got shot, and those are all the details we got, because it literally happened 15 minutes ago. And then the next day you find out, no, the guy pointed a machine gun to the police, or he was holding somebody hostage, or this happened or that. And then it turns out, no, it wasn't anything close to what Joe said. But by that point, Joe has gotten people fucking, salivating for blood because of the way that he portrayed it. And then, but again, the whole reasoning behind that is, to make himself sound genuine in caring about this case and showing some sort of outrage, but what outrage?
And not even that, but guys like him, the Democrats love them because they're just coming off as mindless drones that are spreading the same dribble that they try to get the media to spread. So they got all their bases covered. You got assholes on social media that are pushing an agenda for them, and stuff like that. Guys like that have to be called out. They have to be put in their place, and they have to be exposed because it's bullshit. This kind of crap is bullshit. I've seen examples of a fucking shooting somewhere, and it was a white guy. A white guy did it. He shot 4 people. Oh, blah blah blah. Turns out it's a fucking white Mexican that was here illegally. Because he was white, he was a white guy. Not that he was an illegal Mexican.
Yeah.
Because, God forbid, you can't mention he was a fucking Mexican that was here illegally because that goes against what Biden's allowing to come in here. And what he's trying to do. No, you can't fucking do that. And they'll try to keep that shit going, or they won't acknowledge it. Like MSNBC and CNN would not acknowledge that guy was a Mexican. They'll keep saying was a white dude until they get finally proven that they're lying out of their asses, and then they'll come and say, oh, it turns out it was a Mexican or whatever the fuck. It's bullshit. We have to stop this. We as a fucking country have to stop this false agenda fucking shit. We got to stand up and call it out no matter where the fuck it is, no matter how supposedly insignificant the person that's spewing that shit is. It has to stop. We're never going to get out of this fucking woke shit, this fucking self-entitlement bullshit, this fucking false flag racism bullshit unless we stand the fuck up, call it out, and fucking either just plain and simple ignore the shit so that they get no traction, or fucking, like I said, put them in their fucking place. It has to come to an end. It has to. And just by complaining about it and not fucking being active, like myself, I'm fucking involved in local government here. Because I don't want to fucking be a victim to this shit, and I don't want people to be victims to this shit. And I don't give a fuck if they ever find out who I am and try to cancel me. They can cancel my dick. I'm not going to shut the fuck up and stop the fight against this crap. We have to stand up. This country is going to go to hell sooner than later, and there's going to be a fucking race war to end all race wars. Do you think the fucking Civil War was bad? Okay? We got tanks and machine guns and shit now. We had cavalry and fucking cannons and flintlock fucking pistols or whatever. Well, now we can do a hell of a lot more killing with the shit we can arm ourselves with. We got to stop this shit before something like that comes to happen. People need to stop being lazy or fucking indifferent and take a stand. Or shut the fuck up if you don't like what's going on and you don't choose to do something about it. Don't bitch if you ain't gonna do nothing about it. Be active, be active. Protect yourself and protect the fucking people you love in your fucking country. I mean, shit. I hate social media because that's the fucking... Ever since that was created, it's like the Democrats realized this is a fucking tool we can use. This is awesome. We can go ahead and weaponize this shit. And that's what they've done. That's what they've done. And assholes like fucking Zuckerberg and all these motherfuckers are the little puppies. The little fucking puppets. They do whatever the fuck they want. They help them spread the bullshit. And that's a shame. That's a real fucking shame.
All right, so
I'm sorry.
Few other no, that's fine. I have a few other things to review before I end this stream.
Yeah, man.
So I'll let you go. Thank you for the call.
Oh, appreciate it as always. And sorry that I went on a rant, but
No,
like I said, I'm just
that's
tired
all good.
of.
That's what it's for.
Tired of this, man. We got to do something. All right, man. Have a good rest of the show.
Thanks a lot. There goes Latino Heat. All right, so let's see. I'm going to cover a few more things. If somebody new wants to call in, I'll take a final call. But so, Joe Cronin says lawsuit time on his Twitter. I want to hear what this is.
Can I pause? I want to hear everyone's thoughts.
And now
but I want to see if CNN,
it is time for the lawsuits.
Give me a call, Kyle, because now it's time to sue CNN, MSNBC, and so many other people who lied over the past year and a half, whatever it's been. It is now
You don't even know?
lawsuit time. Just like the man who sued CNN during the Native American standoff lie.
You mean Nick Sandman?
It's time to make some money.
Can I pause it? I want to hear everyone's thoughts.
Joe, just stick to wrestling, please. See, this is the problem with the pandering. The problem with pandering, Chapter 1. You don't do it good. And it only takes a few minutes to do research. Like, come on. Like, how is it so difficult? How is it so difficult to just simply, instead of reading headlines, okay, maybe I'll accept that some people don't read as fast as I do and retain that information. I'll accept that. But, this is, I'm thinking back to when I was a kid, when you're starting to learn to read and shit, sometimes you got to force yourself. Like, I got to go through this again and understand this. So you would think that people would sort of, make that effort and try to understand the topic that they're going to talk about, because, people want to shame me for doing what's right, but nobody wants to shame people, who aren't even willing to take the most basic step to just keep themselves educated. It blows my fucking mind. Where was I? There was one thing I was just going to play here. Where is that? This. Apparently, this is somebody outside of the court in the Rittenhouse verdict. The description is spicy, so let's hear what they have to say.
You say it! I am a monument! I am a monument! Fuck America!
So there's this black woman who's now she's yelling, then she gets on her knees. She just said "fuck America," but then she puts on a mask. Those tube sort of neck warmer things that also function as masks, but she rolls it up onto her face, and what is it? It's the American flag. So let's continue. Now she's on her front stomach. She's pretending to have a seizure.
Stop.
You got some green-haired fucking SJW trying to help her out. It's just, these are the people, and it's well known that the Democrats, and they admitted this, I believe Project Veritas was one of the many that proved this, but they admitted on video that they hire mentally ill people to either protest or to actually start shit. And very often, as we saw, basically 2016 to 2020, that they would, be arrested, and then, one of these nonprofit groups would sweep in and pay for their bail, and oops, there they go, off to do yet again the same thing they were paid for. Let me just see here. Interesting. This is coming from Derailed News and Podcast for immediate release on November 19th, 2021. Statement by Brandon, a.k.a. Resident Biden, and probably whatever, the clone or the stand-in, whatever the fuck it is. Sure doesn't seem to be the same Brandon from fucking 1990s. But, okay, so while the verdict in Kenosha will leave many Americans feeling angry and concerned, myself included, we must acknowledge that the jury has spoken. I ran on a promise to bring Americans together because I believe that what unites us is far greater than what divides us. I know that we're not going to heal our country's wounds overnight, but I remain steadfast in my commitment to do everything in my power to ensure that every American is treated equally, with fairness and dignity under the law. I urge everyone to express their views peacefully, consistent with the rule of law. Violence and destruction of property have no place in our democracy. I gotta jump in there and just remind you, you fucking piece of shit, that you do not live in a democracy. You do not rule over a democracy. America is a constitutional republic. To call it a democracy is fucking an insult and subversion. Let's continue. The White House and federal authorities have been in contact with Governor Evers' office to prepare for any outcome in this case, and I have spoken with the governor this afternoon and offered support and any assistance needed to ensure public safety. So, that apparently is coming from Brandon. And it's fucking disgusting, obviously. And one could argue that there could be some political interference in that. However, with what the mayor of New York said, that's much more, that gains a lot more traction. That could be much more easily proved. But thank you for the graphic here. I'll just show this. I've got a few good graphics of my own. Let's see here. Let's go back to the chat, see what people are saying. So yeah, there's that. What else? There was something else I would, hold on. Yeah, I guess there's really no point. I mean, you guys got the gist of it. There's going to be streams tonight. There are already streams right now going on of all these supposed people that are complaining and, this is racism, blah, blah, blah. Do I think that we're going to get riots tonight? You know what? I don't think so, but let me do this. Kenosha, Wisconsin, weather. Let's see if we can predict it this way. So today, it's chilly today. It's 3 degrees Celsius, so can't change that here, but whatever. Figure it out, Yanks. Saturday is going to be 9 degrees. Sunday, 9. Those would be the only two. And even still, I guess that's still somewhat cold. And that's the morning. That's during the day. I'm not necessarily seeing that people are going to go and cause riots. I could be wrong. I mean, they are preparing for unrest in other parts of the country. I'm reading an article right now from the Daily Mail, which says that multiple locations are being secured. And, some of the lower states where it's a lot warmer, now that we're in autumn, late autumn, there's a chance that they're willing to do that, because we've seen that in the past where something happens in, Portland, then you get riots in fucking San Antonio. So there's a good chance that could happen. Okay, so Leaping Lizard has done a translation for us into freedom units, which are used by Americans. 35 degrees. So I find that chilly, and I live in Canada. We'll have to see. But the best part right now is that now there's legal justification for the treatment of these sorts of individuals, i.e. rioters. I guess that's it. I mean, Dave Rose, yeah, like we could just go through the same thing. Dave Rose is right. Yeah, we said it a year ago, whatever. Like it should have been evident to everybody, and a lot of people were fucking aware of this stuff. So it's not like everyone's fucking retarded. Some people are just fucking following the wrong news sources and stuff. And this case has actually woken them up to the fact that, yeah, they really fucked up here, and now I'm no longer a prisoner of their fucking mind trap. So there are some good things that have come out from this, apart obviously from him being acquitted and now with prejudice, dismissed with prejudice, he can't be tried again criminally. They can try to sue him civilly, but even if that's allowed, remember, the payout's going to be massive when he starts to sue all these different news organizations, all these fucking pundits, and all these politicians. The payout's going to be so big that he could just say, here's $1 million, leave me the fuck alone. And, he won't have to worry about these civil cases. But considering, the support that he has, and consider it this way, this is the best way to consider it. You win all these payouts from all these media companies, and somebody wants to take you to civil court and say, oh, my pedophile brother was a good person. Well, you've got enough money to, outdo them. You've got enough money to go longer than them, to keep lawyers, and there's going to be lawyers that are going to definitely want to fucking destroy the media. So some of them might work pro bono, some of them might give discounts, but he'll have enough in his war chest, Rittenhouse, money-wise, that he can go on much longer than these other organizations, and he'll bankrupt them. I don't know. It wouldn't be organizations suing him civilly. It would be family members and shit. But he'd have much more money to be able to just bankrupt them. They would not even be able to pay the lawyer long enough to keep the trial going. And at that point, they'd still be on the hook for the money, that has to be paid. So, and then there's the embarrassment of them having to, withdraw charges and stuff. So it wouldn't be wise to go up against Rittenhouse. The corporations need to pay out and shut the fuck up. And any individual, that wants to civilly sue, they better, keep their mouth shut, because they'll be bankrupted into oblivion. All right, guess that's it. I like the ratio of thumbs up and thumbs down, 21-21. I do like mirrors. I do like reflections. Numbers, obviously. So, there we go. News Talk, Episode 1, Rittenhouse Verdict. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself. Appreciate the interaction that we had. I don't know. I mean, I made the poll out, and we got 21 votes, and 76. We got 45 viewers, but strangely enough, only 21 votes. That's half of you. But 76 would like me to do a power trip tonight, because there are things to discuss, but there's other things to discuss too, so I don't know if I should just do a diner, because, diner likes to cover multiple subjects, but obviously there are certain things that might need to be discussed. So, I don't know. I'm debating what I should do. But yeah, apparently some people don't want to do it. 27%, 22 votes, 23 votes, but now 26% don't want a power trip. Well, what would you like? I mean, Fire is going to be on in about 6 hours. That's a long time. Well, not when you're with Dave Rose, because Dave Rose takes you on a fantastic ride. But yeah, I mean, there is stuff to discuss, and well, we got the whole group here. We got the little rascals in the chat, and yeah, I think people want to do. We'll take this call. Before he continues, I'll say, Based Alcatraz said in the chat, do more news, brother. To be honest, I thought FFF is tonight. It is, and it's FNF. But yeah, I'm just burning time. getting, practicing me throat here for
What?
me talking. All right, go ahead. What do you want?
You're practicing on your throat. No, for real. Hey, I think we need to bring the power trip back. But I know I already hit you up, but this is for the people. Y'all got to watch this Tiger King 2. The plot twist at the end, that's all I'm going to say. Y'all are going to flip your shit, bro.
You made a video about that. You didn't do spoilers on there, did you?
No. Like, that's why I want everyone to watch it so me and you can review it this week. Hopefully this week we could. It's that damn good.
But
dude.
hold on. Hold on. How long are each episode? I don't think I could do that unless I start to fucking just buckle down now and just start watching. Like, what? They're an hour long?
At least an hour, and there's like 5 episodes.
Oh, God.
so,
6 hours,
you
man.
know.
You expect me to be ready for a Sunday evening type review? Like, that would...
I mean, we could do it next week. I mean,
All right.
but
Yeah, but I know it sounds like you're hot to fucking talk about it, and I don't want to. What if somebody else watches it all and wants to discuss it with you? You shouldn't hold up for me. Yeah, I appreciate it.
No, but I want to play it because I'm gonna watch it twice, and then I'm gonna take notes for real.
Oh shit, you're really serious on this one. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're already. It's clear that you're already stating that this is something that you enjoy more this round than this last. Like, you think this one's much better.
I mean, you can't beat, with saying you can't beat the original, but it's just different. It's a little bit more deeper. There's more characters. And, I mean, at the end of the day, it looks good for Joe. Really good for Joe. But then the twist, I mean, there's just, you wouldn't even imagine what happened at the end. I can't believe it wasn't made public. Like, what's going on, bro? Like, this is a total. I mean, I flipped my shit when there's no boring points because you're just thrust into it, just like you were on the first season. You really are. That's why you got, like, it's when you think about, like, watching the whole series, it's like, oh my God, 5 hours. But I mean, it goes by quick. You seem like you're watching it for like 2 hours or something. Because you just got to have more. You got to have more. And I want more. 5 episodes wasn't enough.
Oh, shit.
I mean, yeah, this is pretty... And you'll get a kick out of it. Like, all the legal shit and all that shit. They were, with Trump and, getting... what is it called? What's the word? The legal word? Like, where Trump was going to sign off to take him out of prison.
Oh, you mean to commute his sentence?
Yeah, like the rappers.
Well, to be quite honest, and this should be a topic on your rap show, but dude, those rap artists, if you want to call them that, definitely didn't deserve having their.
Well, Lil Wayne.
No, fuck both of them. If anything, if you want a clown to fucking commute a sentence, it should have been fucking Tiger King. Fuck those two rapper pieces of shit. Should have been fucking Tiger King. You want a fucking clown to fucking be like, oh, look at me, I forgave this guy, he's off the hook. Should have been Tiger King.
Yeah, but what you can't, I mean, I don't want to say any more and spoil it, but the whole thing is totally, that's kind of old news of what everyone's going off the first Tiger King, because the truth is in the second Tiger King. Like, he really shouldn't be. I mean, everyone has their... And he really should be in jail because it's like the opposite. I mean, I'm not going to say no more.
All right.
There's so much shit. Yes. Like, the first 20 minutes is going to make your jaw drop. But then, it's steady, it's fun, and it's entertaining throughout the whole thing. And the last part of it will make you just like, oh, my God, dude. Like, for real.
My God.
Tiger King's back, baby. But, yes, please do a power trip. It'd be a very interesting fire tonight, maybe, perhaps. Kyle Rittenhouse, it's a win for America. Again, here. Proud of that. And did you see him break down after he heard? Did you see him,
I was watching it live, dude.
Yeah, I mean...
I have the all-seeing lazy eye. I see everything. Just a little blurry.
Well, good job on the news. This is the good old OG Dave Rose we know with political stuff. I've always loved that. And, you got political, but, this whole... situation with Kyle Rittenbomber,
It's Rittenhouse. You keep changing his name. First it was Rittenhauser, now it's Rittenbomber.
No, I'm saying this whole thing was totally non-racial But the media obviously made it all that, and it's sick. It really, I mean, I don't want to use the word, but it is sickening. It's pathetic. It's all the words.
Well,
And
rumor
I'm glad this
has
is a
it
win.
Joe actually radicalized a lot of the people and made them believe these sorts of lies.
Oh yeah, and I think. Well, you're not. Oh, it's power trips. You're not necessarily doing the menu because there was like a little Mexican-y menu with a little
Well, no, but
clam chowder in there.
that's okay. That's the whole purpose of the diners. You get a menu.
Right. Well, what are you offering? Power trip or a diner? Or just
Yeah, I
power
should
trip?
have asked that because that's the thing though. Power Trip is specifically about skunt,
Yeah.
but there's also things that have gone down, earlier today and yesterday. You told me that apparently Bullfrog was talking about me on Sean's View.
Well, I mean, Bullfrog's really worried that you're gonna review him, and he doesn't understand it. Just don't bring Dave Rose up anyway.
But
I can't see.
but apparently he did, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't hear it. It's what he said, but he said he took a couple jabs at you. Didn't want you to do any streaming on him, but.
So I guess
as
I'm
for
forced to do a
Bullfrog-
stream on him.
Well, no. As for Bullfrog spokesperson, I would say skip that. Don't worry about that. And worry about the Boston clam chowder and the Mexican meat. I mean, that's more important. But I don't know. I don't know what he said.
Well, there's also the fact that SC Steve was on
So I'm
Tony's
saying
show
you got
today.
a Mexi meal with side of Boston clam chowder with that. Huh? It was pretty bad, bro. But Tony was. I mean,
I heard a bit of it, yes.
yeah.
And, well, there was. Well, you know what? I guess we're going to have to do a diner. Sorry, people. We're ending the poll right now. There's too
Yeah.
much to discuss on other people. I know Skunty would love it if I concentrate on him. And I will have to address a few things there because the messages I woke up to, you guys got, and not from him, but the messages I woke up to this morning, extremely intriguing, and they sort of resupply my ammunition depot. So, yeah.
Lots of stuff we got. I mean, shows, Tiger King. So again, whenever you get time, if you get a good 5 hours, if you're not sleeping well, it's worth staying up for. It's worth. I mean, this
I'll
thing
keep
is
it
the
in
most.
mind.
It really is.
I know
Yeah.
that you're on a timer here and you want to really get me to, but I can't. That's the thing. I can't binge watch like I used to. And
At least
sometimes-
maybe before Christmas. Let's get it
Dude,
done
also
before
sometimes
Christmas. Can you
watching
do
some
that?
of these episodes, of course, before
Yeah.
Christmas. Don't worry about
Ah,
that.
that'll be good.
That's
Yeah,
way
yeah.
easier. But no, I thought you meant like I want to review it for tomorrow night, and like I
No,
need you.
I mean, if I could choose, I would
Dude,
say
there were
before
some
Thanksgiving
episodes,
and all that.
Dude,
but,
there were some episodes where I watched. I was like, shit, I got to take a break from this shit because this is this is extreme. Like, and I keep going back to what I said, which was, like. People, I can't remember what the analogy was used. I think it was the guy who initially was involved recording and all that. If you took this to a studio and told them, here's the premise of this show, they'd say, I don't believe you. This is so out of the fucking, like, this is so ridiculous that nobody's going to fucking believe it. This can't even be true. So,
Right.
And then actually seeing it and actually experiencing that, I had to sometimes take breaks because I'm like, this is too much, man. Like, this actually exists. I'm watching shit for real. Like, this is true.
Well, like I would say, the first season's more extreme on that part because it's the shock factor. You never seen this before, but like you already kind of know the deal with all these characters, and on the season 2, like we already going into it, like kind of know the deal. It's kind of kooky but it's pretty damn. They get pretty deep. It's pretty. I mean,
All right.
the
All right.
husband, everything. But yeah, go.
Well,
yeah,
we'll
yeah.
wrap it up
But-
because some people aren't liking the Tiger King talk in the chat. And plus, we've covered what we needed to. I don't want to merge topics together.
No, let's just watch YouTube shows all day. Let's not branch out and watch anything else.
No,
It's good though.
I'm just saying we could
Worth
talk
it.
about that on another show.
Yes,
And,
we will.
well-
All right, Drama Diner today. Right now?
Yeah, right now.
All right.
All right.
All right, brother. Thank you.
Don't call me brother. All right. So there goes YR. And we're going to basically say, give me 3 minutes, something like that, to get the stream up. So go to me channel, prepare for the link, just refresh a few times. So maybe even less than 3 minutes. It's easy to set up. So thank you very much for joining us here for the News Talk episode 1, Rittenhouse. Almost pulled a wire there, mispronouncing it, but it's Rittenhouse. Kyle Rittenhouse. Dun dun dun. Verdict. So we saw at least the law of the land stand properly today. And I hope that anyone who decides to riot tonight about the verdict gets the Rosenbaum special. I'm your host, Devious Dave Rose, and we'll see you very shortly at the Drama Diner. Remember, no shoes, no shirt, no service.